Yo, so what going on is that I made a promise and I always keep my promises. And what is going on right now, a lot of people around us getting affected by situations going on in their life. So I'm breaking it into 4 different pieces because it's 4 different people. If you suffer from domestic violence, emotional pain, psychological damage, and mental incapabilities, even though you're an educated person, it shows that the damage that was done to you really would affect you. And to take it on for 26 years, as in all of the 26 years wasn't bad, but the last 6 years of it was so bad that twice you end up in hospital, as in major times. Other than that, about 10 to 14 times also. And your sons witness it. Not from just that husband, but from somebody else also. What usually happens is that you suffer from trauma bonding, or aka Stockholm Syndrome, as they call it. Some people don't like to hear them words at all because the truth does offend, which many people know also, because that's why a lot of people get hatred. And from that happening, somebody that I know more than 30 years, this is the exact situation going on with them, what I just described. From a bad marriage into loving somebody who is disgusting and furthermore racist. And when was told about it, tried to justify the actions of the individual who she's with right now. Other than that also, one of her sons witnessed plenty of the beatings and started to use this against her. From that happening, definitely you have to understand the word name manipulation is a serious thing. That stuff smelling good, but yeah. What is going on is that from that manipulation happening, he's only 15 and something months old and requesting what size of chicken, insulting his mother, hitting her physically. All these things incorporated. Not incorporated in being a good mother, you know. It's incorporated because they get used to certain things happening. Now with that happening, the emotions that I show to that person, because I know her 30 years plus, is remarkable. So of course I defend the people I love in all aspects. So disrespect with her uncle, her father, a parent like myself could never happen. But when you go through the emotional damage like what she went through, she don't understand how dangerous this is. Now I'm saying this now because a lot of people know I've helped a lot of people come back from that road of no return. And I have lost friends due to anxiety and depression. But you see that stuff I'm talking about, meaning manipulation from your children, there's a lot of people going through that right now. And that's not even funny in any format. So from that happening, people need to understand, when people do call it out and see the problems happening, listen to them because they care for you, not for situations that you're in. And furthermore, racialism has no port of origin in Trinidad and Tobago, especially right now. So what's going on? Anytime you could justify a wrong to still be a wrong person, yeah, that is when you need help. And furthermore, lying about your son's addiction and the next one being abusive to you, that's so serious. That's so serious. Yo, other than that also, you know what's even more dangerous? How you know it's even more dangerous? To manipulate the person I consider as my sister to get your point across and trying to justify a racist person who is implicated with 5 others in murder. I did not stutter. And trust me, I do know which part the individual lives, as in who's involved in this criminal action. So now we'll move on to another part of the story, because there's 4 people in this video I want to mention. But that was first because this one affected me totally. Because to start off your year with someone and then they go down a path because they've been manipulated by their significant other because of previous pain, what you're attracted to now via trauma bonding and the actions of your son. And that could make you literally have mental issues, anxiety, and other things. It shows you're more than toxic. So you shouldn't be in a relationship with any of them. And last but not least, 4 individuals in this situation need to get therapy. Yo, let's move right along to the next story. Yo, so there's part 2. I was adopted by Diego Martin because I was married to somebody from there, and I love her with a passion to this day. She's not on this planet anymore. But the thing about it, from the progression of when I stopped working hospitality in one establishment, I started working taxi. And from that happening, I formed a bond. Yo, hi, you good?
What's going on, honey?
Trying to survive.
You
Yeah, you look like you're causing trouble there and thing, and you're listening to some good music, yo.
good? Yeah, so you hear more music?
Yeah. Good to see you.
Alright.
Yo, so what I was saying is that I form a bond with a lot of people, and people in shock that a Eastman come and get a Douglas from Diego Martin. And just like how the sky grew dark, that is how some of the intentions of some of the people that I met were in their attitudes towards me. I didn't study it because remember I work in hospitality from since 98. So I know some people have some dark spirits. From that being said, what's going on is that I started working taxi, formed bonds with a lot of people, until the churners called me uncle, run up to me in the street, hug me and stuff. But some people living on St. Lucien Road, one man I heard a taxi driver take his girlfriend away. I'm not going to call any names, I'm not going to emphasize his story. And other than that also, it's either he or one of his friends' car get it from a taxi man. So the hatred that that man have, serious. And he doesn't know that one of my friends who grew up with me, who taught me racing, is very good friends with one of his friends. And the subject of anonymity, I said the word wrong because I see somebody looking at me and making me laugh. Yo, so what's going on? Good night. What's going on is that one of his friends who had a ras is somebody I grew up with. He's Tobagonian. So within that, I asked that man 4 questions on 4 different occasions, and every time he never tell me the truth. From that happening, you know what make me laugh? What I learned from a Chinese man. When you ask the right questions and they can't respond, that's real important. So what's going on? When you know the answer to a question, just pretend you know nothing, because that is when you find out who in denial and who in being real with you. So that fella started definitely to criticize all Nissan drivers. So you all should know who I'm talking about. So within that, he became very successful in traffic groups and making videos criticizing Nissan drivers. And from that happening, this was the first person, this is the first person I see telling me that I warn people on TikTok. One of the most unintelligent statements ever here. From that happening, man. From that happening, what make me laugh? I don't war people on TikTok. I bring forward the points that going on wrong in Trinidad and Tobago. And then my followers and international friends and Tobagonian friends started to criticize how he's changing his platform to sounding like mine. He's never shown his face at all. But here the scene. My favorite brand is Nissan. Does that answer the question, Trinidad and Tobago? Furthermore, one of his bona fide friends, other than the man who had the ras, lied on several occasions. And it just happened that his car happened to burn down recently. Karma is one of them bitches. And there's always happen to people who do me shit. And that is not a matter of bragging. That is not a matter of coincidence. Ancestors and good vibes does always work in my favor. So with that being said, when you change your content to be just like mine, and my followers start telling me the same thing, people from Tobago start telling me the same thing, and then you start bragging and showing off and throwing subliminal shots at somebody. That's why you get scared and a certain government ruin your channel, and on a Saturday you had nearly a mental breakdown. That never happened with me. So that should tell you how karma works. Yo, good night, you good? Yo. So from that happening now, look at me. I didn't sell any Suzuki vehicle and I didn't buy any Prado. But I know a lot of stories of many people that will laugh at. So how are you going to playing your Xbox or your PS5? Just asking for a friend who living on St. Lucian Road too. Yo. But anyway, that's part 2. So stop criticizing people, laughing at people, and having a big ego. Do you hear what I'm telling you, sir? Right. That's part 2. Yo. So now there's part 3. I started hospitality in exactly 1998. In about September the 10th or something like that, 1998. And within that being said, that was after a tragic accident. Very bad accident. And when that happened, it changed my life forever. And I remember I couldn't pass peaks without getting a stomach ache, without feeling them butterflies in my stomach. Because to see somebody face scraped on the ground, could hear you talking, they have their ears, but they have no face, is something I never experienced before. And that was when I was young, 1998 as I say. And maybe that's why one of the reasons, other than how I come up with my grandfather, I'm very much different from most men you ever witness in Trinidad, how they just move. You know what happened that night? That was 1:22 a.m. in the morning, May the 22nd. What happened is I learned how powerful the Syrian community is in Trinidad and Tobago that night. Because there was a senator's son. And somehow news they spin the story. 3 black boys kill white boy in racing. You hear what I'm telling you? When that happened, there was certain guys in the country and certain other guys, 2 last names in particular. One who's a so-called government minister now, Minister of Housing, was liming with certain other individuals. At the point in time, he was a piece of shit then and he's a piece of shit now. So you see, when you want to take care of certain children, because you have certain children with a certain person, it's very interesting. You see something called sloppy joes and you see something called racialism. I don't know about that shit, you know, because I have a very good friend called Mark, aka Sao. We used to real mama guy man thing. Had one of the baddest evolutions I ever personally see, and he was friends with my partner who was driving the Honda Accord in the accident that I was in. And within that, I know about racing, I know about ethnicity, I don't know about anything separating us, because when your skin bust is the same color you see in within. So with that being said, when you want to go around the town slinging your dick and think you're the last man on the planet, and then treating people in 2026 like shit, and calling out a man's name because you didn't promise and hold up, in fact I should say, to your promise that you offered him, and then not taking care of your children for other people, but you're taking care of one in particular, then you're involved in corruption so much so that you were not voted into your position, but you want to laugh at others because you have a position. When people know all your files on the western side, people in Westmoreland, people in Diego Martin, people on St. Lucian Road, people in Belmont, people on the Beatum, know all about your stink, nasty, disgusting, racist fucking ways. I didn't want to swear, you know, but the mere fact of what happened in the past 7 days, it really pushed up what is going on. Because last time I checked, there's a Chinese woman with a spa in St. James. If you know how much I respect her, for many reasons. Because the B-15 that she had me using a long time ago is what I got my first arrest with because of some corrupt police. An unfortunate but true fact, Adrian is collecting some money right now that the public will soon know about in all detail. So all that shit you're doing, especially when you went on a live on Sunday and using the word cackahole, and furthermore looking down at Jason, all this shit will come to an end. And I'm going to definitely make sure the public knows about it on every single platform. And other than that also, TikTok is very interesting. For 80 cents, $1.60 or $3, you could push up your viewership to get more engagement. I don't ever do that. Proper biological, original human engagement. It have no bots working for me. So I don't have any channel called Facts in Your Mother Cunt. That is one. And 2, I don't ever say the word nigger when I'm not one. Do you hear what I'm saying, you illiterate slime ball of a human being? So with that being said, I strongly suggest you get everything in a gear, because either charges or the firing will happen. when the next video comes. And you do have more than just regular mental issues. Because trust me, Stephen, Donnie, Lawrence, Gerard, tell me about you. And yes, you should know them 4 names are called a piece of shit. Because they couldn't afford that Prado before. Think I was saying. This is the end of part 3. One more part coming. Yo. And this last but not least one. What I gonna say, but what can I say? Whenever people trust in people to give them information, to be truthful with them, they don't expect pathological lies. They don't expect a church man to lie to them. They don't expect a family man to be backing up somebody who promotes slander, who promotes, as they say, bearer of being a false tongue. They don't expect somebody to be in support of somebody who claims to be a crime fighter, or in support of European / Sodom and Gomorrah lifestyle. So whenever you are all of the above, and you literally know all these things going on negative, and you're an employee of that person, how do you feel knowing that you're encouraging this thing to happen, and this person is willfully, I repeat, willfully bad talking individuals, and furthermore harboring kidnappers, harboring murderers, harboring corrupt police officers, also with bearing knowledge of government ministers, furthermore bearing knowledge of individuals who they know putting people in place so certain situations are going on in Trinidad and Tobago. All this type of stuff that's going on right now, do you consider it normal? Do you consider it okay for people to be putting the tail between their legs and experiencing what's going on in the country right now? When individuals talk about it, they seem to remain silent. So in other words, how could the man from South Trinidad, who's a gospel DJ, be supporting this man who could never read out Leviticus? Do you ever ask yourself that question? How could it be that somebody who so-called trained in theology could encourage somebody to kidnap someone? How could somebody who doing stuff of good faith encourage to get $6,000 to find somebody's car who's 17 years old? How could it somebody that's supposed to be withholding the standards of Trinidad and Tobago and changing us to be in a better nation encourage his brother-in-law to be doing illegal stuff and covering it up? You never ask yourself these questions. Yeah, somebody who gains stardom from vanity and furthermore using this splurge of fame to actually do wrong is something that's really disturbing. Furthermore, look at how much people confide in me, because I'm real. I could say on camera right now, big up to many people in Bella Road, big up to K Lion, rest in peace, big up to Nandy Jones, big up to Mr. Grant. You hear what I'm saying? That's how real I am. I realize we need more real Trinidadians, real patriots, not fussy holes who wearing red bottom shoes and always using a bell on the program and looking for attention. I never charge anybody for helping anybody find back a vehicle in my life. But on your show, countless members of Trinidad and Tobago, citizens, get slandered, and you getting paid $1,500 to do that. So I'm asking now, Trinidad and Tobago, how could you feel about these 2 individuals? One is a radio disc jockey / so-called imitation reporter. Also, one is a so-called crime-fighting journalist, but really promoting homosexuality and slander on his program. 20 years. You ever ask yourself that? Yeah, these things kind of important. I don't ramp, skin, grin, or lie about situations that I'm involved in. And furthermore, when I do an investigation, it's core-based. It has nothing called sensationalism. And furthermore, you could hear my voice loud and clear. Yo, flavor in your ear. Yo, moving right along. It have no shadows, no echoed sentiments, no feeling from anybody behind the shadows paying me $40,000 to remain silent. Do you hear what I'm saying? Anybody that is involved in the TTPS that talks to me, know I stand for a certain level of integrity. It have 2 people who from my class, I could call their names, and definitely one is a piece of shit and the next one is a good guy into the Lord and understand what God-fearing means. So don't ever bring that type of shit to my name or any of my friends. So what you need to tell Trinidad and Tobago, why it is your boyfriend in GGP for stealing something that you gave him. But anyway, with that being said, Trinidad and Tobago, I love you guys. I'll see you on the flip side. Deuces.